Hey everybody, this is Patty Murphy back behind the mic after a few days away at the Northeast Acquirers Association meeting. I want to first and foremost thank my good friend and colleague James Shepard for stepping in while I was away. You know, if you're an ISO or an agent and you haven't been to one of the regional Acquirers Association meetings, you really ought to go. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're not. It's a great opportunity for learning, for networking, and of course the parties and the swag aren't so bad either. But on to your daily dose of payments notes. First up, new data on card transactions and processing fees from the Nilson report. The Nilson report has been a go-to source for transaction data for decades. Credit, debit, and prepaid cards issued in the U.S. were used to pay for $11.9 trillion in goods and services last year. That was a new record. Another new record, merchants paid $187.2 billion in processing fees, Nelson reported. According to David Robertson, the publisher of the Nielsen report, merchants paid $1.57 in fees for every $100 in card payments they accepted. He noted that over the past 10 years, the weighted average of fees has fluctuated between 1.45% and 1.57%. Last year, purchase volume on credit cards alone reached $6.464 trillion. That number was 5.1% higher than in 2023. Merchants paid $148.52 billion in processing fees to accept those cards. That's a 9.3% increase over 2023. Debit card purchases accounted for $5.439 trillion in payment volume last year. That's a 6.7% increase over 2023. Merchants paid $148.52 billion in fees to process those transactions, a 9.3% increase over 2023. And prepaid cards accounted for $5.439 trillion in purchase volume, up 6.7%. They paid $36.68 billion in fees, or 6.7% more than they did in 2023. Now, I know that was a lot of numbers and percentages, but the basic bottom line was the business did really well last year. Despite the increase in card payments and associated revenues, though, capital investments in payment players fell last year. That's the bottom line of an S&P Global Markets Intelligence report. I was really surprised reading a review of the report that was published by the website Payments Dive. It revealed that venture capitalists invested 47% fewer dollars in payments companies last year compared to 2023. The number of deals fell by 23% to 392. Venture capitalists have become extremely selective when it comes to investment in payments companies, and S&P's analyst told Payments Dive. Among publicly traded payments firms, more than half had negative stock returns for the year ending on February 13th, 2025. This despite the fact that more than three-quarters, 77%, showed revenue growth. Globally, the payments market counts about 8,400 companies with, quote, a massive market opportunity, according to the S&P report. The research firm projected $172 billion will be, quote, up for grabs by 2030. And that's just in the payment processing and merchant acquiring segment of the market. That's a huge opportunity. No wonder so many non-bank fintechs are jockeying for a position in this market. Next, an article published this week by Forbes Daily suggests the rise of stablecoins, with their growing role in cross-border payments, treasury operations, and tokenization, is triggering a tectonic shift in the global financial system. In 2024 alone, stablecoin transfers surpassed a staggering $27.6 trillion. That eclipsed the combined transaction volume of Visa and MasterCard by quite a bit. Stablecoins seek to deliver on the long-promised potential of blockchain-based finance. That's instant, low-cost, and programmable transactions without borders. Whether it's facilitating merchant settlements, supporting faster remittances, or ensuring or enabling treasury management for fintechs and neobanks, stablecoins are stepping in where the traditional financial rails aren't operating. But here's the rub. Despite the promise of stablecoins, most financial institutions are caught between legacy banking infrastructure and early generation crypto tools, and neither is well suited for the demands of modern finance. And finally, on a lighter note, Google just announced a new feature that allows kids to securely make payments and store passes. Parents and guardians in 5 countries, including the US, can now give their consent for their children to access payments using their Android devices. The new feature will be rolled out in a few weeks, Google said. It will allow kids to tap to pay in stores, as well as store supported passes like event tickets, library cards, and gift cards in one convenient place. Well, that's it for today in payments. Keep coming back every weekday for your daily dose of payments notes.